Welcome to the MindCulture podcast, where we will cover the best of the human experience to cultivate your fullest potential. In just under 10 minutes a week, you will learn something new about yourself and the world around you. I'm your host, Ralph Plaskett, and this week's episode is entitled, How to Find Silence in the Noise. Before we begin, I would love to hear from you. You can drop me a line on Instagram at Ralph Plaskett, or you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/MindCulturePodcast. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's get on to the show. So dig deep and let's begin. Like most people, my children are an inspiration to me, and often they inspire the topics for these episodes. My children are ages 5 and 2, and like most 5 and 2-year-olds, they make a ton of noise. Crying, screaming, playing, singing, acting, dancing, everything you can imagine, and often for no reason at all. I don't think it could get any louder in my house. Well, maybe if we had a few more 5 and 2-year-olds. Either way, we were sitting down for dinner and the kids just finished their meals. There was no background noise. There was no TV. There was no Pandora, nothing. It was absolutely blissful. So much so that my son made the comment that it was so quiet and he liked it. Could you believe it? It was like the pot calling the kettle black. The very person who generates all of this noise is confessing that he loves the quietness. Of course, like most 5-year-olds, especially with his sidekick 2-year-old sister, this blissful silence didn't last for long. Here is what I learned from this experience and frankly my very short time as being a parent. I've learned that 1, my wife is a great inspiration for these episodes as well, since she gave me the title for this episode. And 2, how to find silence in the noise. So I found myself drowning out the noise that my kids were making. I think that this is a superpower for most parents. I slowly removed layer by layer of noise. My son talking loudly, my singing daughter singing a song, the noise from the kitchen, the cars driving outside. Now, of course, I still heard them, but they were not in focus. In this instance, I was focused on enjoying my dinner. I enjoyed this silence for a few moments before I was snapped back into reality. And although this is a superpower of most parents, this is not a unique skill. Intently focusing on something that is beyond the noise allows you to find silence in the midst of the chaos. Do you recall studying for an exam? Working in a cubicle farm with noise from every direction, or having a conversation in the middle of a noisy sporting event? The same skill of focus that you used here is how you can find silence in the world of noise. Albeit short-lived, these moments of intense focus and its resultant silence is refreshing. Here's what I mean. Research has linked noise pollution to increased blood pressure, sleep loss, and heart disease. These results have led to even more research on long-term effects of noise. Sure, drowning out noise for a few moments may not sound like much, but if you think about the feeling that you gained when you were able to drown out the noise, it should lead you to want more noiselessness. In further research about the various types of noise, it was found that silence actually provided rather interesting benefits. First is the growing of new brain cells. Duke University regenerative biologist Emmett Christie found that silence for approximately 2 hours a day produced new brain cells in a part of the brain associated with memory. The next benefit is the activation of the brain's memory. Our brain is a tenacious organ. Even when we are in complete silence, our brain never stops working. It retrieves memories of songs and lyrics, conversations, and experiences. This allows our brain to exercise the memory portion of our brain. Lastly, silence encourages self-reflection. There's much to be learned about the self and the world around you through the gift of self-reflection. Without the demands of the world on your brain, silence allows your brain to wander, and in that wandering, you may find yourself able to reflect on the past week or day or particular experience. If you practice mindfulness or other well-being practices, you can direct self-reflection in a much more efficient way and learn how to become a better version of yourself. You may not have 2 hours a day to find silence. I know I don't. However, finding a few minutes here and there throughout my day has given me huge well-being benefits, even in the midst of noisy kids. That's it for this week's episode of the MindCulture podcast. If you were inspired by what you heard here today, don't hesitate to reach out to the Plaskett Institute and request further information about our coaching services. Visit www.plaskettinstitute.org to learn more. Subscribe and share if you haven't already. If you made it this far into the episode, there must be something of value for you. When you subscribe and share, it not only helps me out, but it also helps others learn about this important information that I share, which is designed to help you achieve your fullest potential. If you find these episodes enriching, tell a friend. If you don't, still tell a friend. Subscribe today. I'm your host, Ralph Plaskett, and until next week, enjoy the greatness that is life.